Which you did go to Tech.
I went to Tech. It was the best 10 years of my life. Should have been a doctor, but I was.
Same.
I ended up a musician, which is the greatest thing. You look around the landscape of the beginnings of Texas music. There was, me and Wade Bowen, Corey Morrow. There were just so many of us came from up there.
Well, I'm glad that you said that because, working in this business, people outside my ranch bubble come to me a lot and they're like, Elle, what is Texas country? What is this red dirt? What is it? And I'm like, I don't know. Listen to Pat Green.
I think Texas music is very definable by our culture and just the way we do things, right? Kind of honest. It maybe sometimes might be a little bit outside the, my father-in-law looks like Wyatt Earp. Okay. He's lived his entire life outdoors. So, I don't know. We're just we got a little more grit.
I like the word grit.
Well, I mean, if you don't have the grit and the stamina and the work ethic, you're probably, you might make it if somebody latches onto you, but, record label or whatever, but without grit, you're not going to go very far because you have to work hard in this biz.
It's true for everyone, though. How is it different in music?
The first 10 or so years, you have to carry your junk around. We don't have roadies. When you're living in a van and one of the guys is sitting on the bass drum in the way back, it's tough work and it's uncomfortable.
Someone told me, speaking of just sort of like getting it done, taking care of your people, I was having a conversation with someone recently who said, Pat Green kept paying his entire team all throughout the pandemic, even though he really probably couldn't justify that if you can do math at all.
No, I couldn't afford it. But yeah,
how'd
we
you
did.
do it and why? I mean, no one else, a lot of people weren't doing that. Why'd you do it? How'd you make it happen?
Well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I said I couldn't afford it, but what I really mean is that, we weren't making anything, but I knew they weren't making anything either. And, you find the resource. I did, there's, what's it called? The cameos.
Yeah.
I did a zillion of those cameos.
Like, happy birthday, Kathy.
Yeah. Hi, Steve. What's up? Your daughter, Kathy, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah. So it was that, we did virtual shows. I did virtual shows in like a place like this and, kept my distance and all that. Whatever it took, You
just don't think of a guy like Pat Green needing to side gig, but you did it to take care of your people. And that's obviously super respectable. On the cameo thing, did you ever get asked to do anything weird?
I had a few I turned down for sure.
Tell me.
No. This is not appropriate for radio. But yeah, I did. I don't know. I worked as hard as I could. That's the thing that I really get at is that I love to work. I love being this. I love being on stage. I truly enjoy performing for people. I get a little nervous sometimes. Actually, I get a lot nervous sometimes, but I love it.
Musicians we should be looking at. Who are you watching?
Man, I still think we should pay more attention to William Clark Green. I think that his time has, he hasn't gotten what he deserves because I think he is, he's great. I think when something strikes me, I go, that's great. Cody Kent strikes me.
Yeah.
Right?
Early on in your career, it had to have been really tough to get your music out. But the field wasn't saturated. There wasn't as much demand or attention. Now...
Well, that's the thing. There was no demand.
Yeah. So how do you get people to listen versus now where, there's a lot going on. This is a, rapidly
we have
growing
radio
genre.
stations dedicated to it.
Right. But, and when you release your music now, we eat it up. You're the granddaddy. We want everything you put out. So which was better? What do you prefer? Which end of the spectrum?
I think I like all of it. I love the challenge of getting my music on air. Such a groundswell when Carry On came out. We went from a couple hundred people to several thousand people, and then more and more. And then one radio station after another, just the big, these monsters. Now, I'm not talking about here, but everywhere, started putting Carry On the air because it was such kind of a genuine representation of what we were doing at the time. And we went from a couple thousand to selling out the Astrodome before we had a record deal. Mm-hmm. And now here where I'm at in my 50s, and I love the level out process. Like I just get up on stage and do my thing, and I've got a great band. They've been with us for a long time, and we've been together for a long time, I should say. And so what do I like the best? I love that my daughter, I got to take a picture of her on the front porch when she went, first day of school, her senior year in high school. I love that this morning at the same time, at 6 o'clock, my son went back to UT. My wife is sad and kind of grumpy. But I think it's, I don't know, this is a great piece of life, too.
You've paved the way, obviously, for us literally even having the station.
Oh, I thought you were talking about personally.
No, all of it. I like all of it. No, the personal stuff's the good stuff. But you do continue to, sort of, I don't know if I want to say reinvent yourself, but you're not afraid to try something new or collaborate with a different genre. And now we are taking it to a whole different level. Talk about what you have going on with this man who we're going to speak to, Kyle.
Well, let's talk now. Let's talk now.
Okay, we'll do that. Kyle Sherman here in the house. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm so good. I'm so glad to have you. So glad to have you here. You're actually representing Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra, trumpet guy, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I tried to play trumpet. That was a bad move.
Hey, I'm still trying.
You've got quite a few accolades to your name, and we're excited to see you. I want to see Wave on Wave with trumpet and timpani and I don't know.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Oh, strings. Tell me what we're in for here.
It's going to be really exciting. We've done a few shows like this in the past. For example, we did one with Boys to Men, and I think in terms of crowd level, decibel-wise, I think that's going to be the one to beat. So we got the crowd up to about 116 decibels at that show. We'll see if we can beat this.
A little higher than what we usually operate at.
Well, bass amplifies it a little bit, too.
Oh, right. Okay.
We did a show with Ben Folds. That was also fun, so we're really looking forward to this one.
Ben Folds 5? Like, really? That's great.
Just Ben Folds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
That was an exciting show. We really enjoyed it. I actually have a couple of questions for you, Pat, if you don't mind.
Bring it.
So at this point
actually, I just got the set list yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay, good. I don't think we have it yet. So at this point in your career, what kind of venues are you most looking forward to playing? What do you really enjoy?
This is kind of the top of the wish list that I haven't done. I've got to play Red Rocks, Madison Square Garden. I've got to play Staples in L.A. I've done, the things that pretty much any musician would want to do. But Bass Hall here in my hometown has always, because I've been to a lot of shows there, but Lyle Lovett is my, he's the top of my pile, and so every time he plays there, I get to go. And I've only performed in Bass Hall one time with Lyle singing "Girls from Texas," which we're gonna do with you guys.
Absolutely.
Bass Hall's at the top of the list, and the last one. After this, you get suck me up by a twister, run me over by a train. We're going to be fine.
He's like, I can die after this.
I got to
But y'all don't get nervous the way I get nervous.
You'd be surprised. You talk about you get nervous maybe more often than not before a show starts. I feel the exact same way. Do you feel that feeling where, coming up, the hour before, it starts to really kind of build up, and then you start, and it's that feeling where you're like, this is happening, and then it kind of just
I love getting over the hump.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's first. I don't know, sometimes it's one or two, but I love getting over the hump where I can't feel my ears anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Wait,
but
what?
Those first couple songs, I can feel my ears.
This is how you gauge how you're like, your anxiety level.
That's just where it registers. My face is red, and
wow.
I'm nervous. But when I settle in, it's not that hard. But I've only had really true stage fright 3 or 4 times in my life, and I don't know. I've kind of figured out some mental exercises to get past that. But it's not normal to be in front of thousands of people.
Someone said, and this really connected with me, You feel the nerves because it matters. If you didn't feel nervous, then you probably didn't feel like it mattered. So I
Dead
mean,
inside.
yeah, if you're not nervous, yeah, something's not connecting there. So yeah, it's kind of comforting, I think, to know that a guy like Pat Green still gets nerves and that you have to work through that. It's very normal of you.
I think it's very funny that people call me by both my names all the time.
It's just resetting, Pat.
I understand resetting. My bad. I just did that earlier.
Yes, you did.
Redirect. Okay, here we go.
All
I'm
right.
sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No. This is great. I think the first time I saw any kind of collab like this was the Metallica. You know, the Metallica S&M thing where
Symphony and Metallica in San Francisco.
Oh my gosh.
Great album.
Blew my mind. I'm like, this is maybe the best thing I've ever heard as, high school kid. So now to get to see the grit of Pat combined with just the grandeur of what you do.
Grandeur is a great word for that.
I stole that, thank you. But yeah, I mean, what a beautiful sort of contrast coming together. I really want to get to the show. I know we have some tickets to give away. This thing's going down on Saturday, September 14th, fwsymphony.org. This is going to be a super special event. You heard Pat saying how special it's going to be for him and also Kyle Sherman. Do we just look at the trumpet row and I'm like, oh, I know that guy. I mean, are you first trumpet?
I am.
Okay, we got the big
We
man.
don't have second trumpet here on the ranch.
We
I
got
love
the
second
best.
trumpet, whoever that is.
I was always second trumpet.
We always got
Couldn't quite
Killer
ever get it.
Kyle here.
Thank you so much for coming in, both of
Right
you.
on.
Thanks for having
Right
us.
on. What a privilege.
Oh,
It really is.
it's my honor to get to sit down here with you guys. And we look forward to seeing you again soon.